Well, we gotta go live before I can do sweet.
Too sweet.
Too sweet.
Okay. So, I think they were doing a muscly men. We're going to apparently watch this, maybe.
The war. Oh, that's disappointing.
Who's?
They're not the headliner. They're an opening act.
So, which means you can leave early.
No, that means I would have to show up late. Wait, no, that's right. No, yeah, I would leave. I would get there and leave early.
Yeah.
Because I don't know who. I've heard of Wolf Parade, but I definitely don't want to pay to see them.
You've heard of a wolf parade?
No, done well enough.
Okay, we are live on YouTube. Say hello, Matt, and get off your phone.
Oh my gosh, calm down. Is that why the tickets are so expensive? Yeah, that's why the tickets are so expensive. It's that other band or the actual headliners. Well, never mind. I don't know if I do want to bother. That's just.
But what else are you gonna do?
I'm going to start talking about Media Book Podcast as soon as we hit record on Audacity.
Merry, 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 merry science. Merry, 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 merry science.
This will be our last regularly scheduled podcast of the year.
Of 2017. This is it.
Send now.
Next, which means this is the last episode of season 2.
Yes. Oh, season 2 finale?
This is our season finale.
Season 2 finale. And we already did hit our 100th episode earlier this year. So syndication.
Right.
Right.
TBS is going to buy the rights to show us.
Yep.
Or something.
Right here, I gotta add my thoughts down here real quick. Just so they're on there.
No, turn over. Arizona has the ball. Purdue. Start speaking of chicken.
Okay, here you go. This
Purdue,
is for you.
Yeah, isn't Purdue another company that makes chicken?
I think that's Perdon't.
Perdon't.
Yes.
It's Purdue or Perdon't. There is no per try.
Purdue or Perdon't.
Oh, hey! Hi, this is the Media Boat Podcast. It is December. It is December the 27th.
27th.
2017. This is episode 104 of the Media Boat Podcast. And guess what, guys? It is the last episode, not only of 2017 for us, but it's the last episode of our season 2, our second full season of Media Boat Podcast. Media Boat Podcast, in case you don't know, is your source for news about movies, television, music, and video games, not necessarily in that order. My name is Matt. His name is Mike.
I'm here.
He's busy doing social media things right now. But yes, we're going to get rolling into it.
Yeah, so I'm Mike. He's Matt. I'm here. Hi.
Hi,
everyone on YouTube.
We brought you an entire second year of podcasting, and we're not going to stop here. Of course, the next time you hear us...
Matt, we've done it.
We will be,
We've hit
done
2 seasons.
We're going to do another one. Next week will be a first episode of season 3.
Season 3.
Got ahead of myself there. Season 3 of the Media Mode Podcast. But before we do that, we'll have to wrap up the year. And just so happens, we're doing just that the rest of this week. If you're a loyal listener, you'll know that this week we've been dropping podcasts on you like hot chickens. Like Foster Farms.
We've been giving you little presents to wrap every single day.
Yes,
unwrap. Don't wrap them.
We had our top 5 lists and our year in review wrap-up episodes that have been going up every day. You had movies and TV already. Coming tomorrow will be music, and Friday this week will be video games. So depending on the time you're listening to this, you may have all of those already in your podcast stocking.
Right, and then sometime this weekend, or maybe even on the 1st, we'll put up the end of 2017 year-end review.
Yeah.
And what we look forward to in 2018.
But today will be a regular-ass podcast.
So it's not regular. Hey.
But you know what I mean.
I know what you mean.
It'll be a normal podcast, our last one before the end of the year, so enjoy it while it lasts. So yeah, let's just go roll into it right now.
Yes.
We always start, of course, with the weekend movie box office.
And no surprise as to what is number one.
Yeah, no surprise at all. Star Wars Last Jedi is still your number one movie, making another $99 million.
Just under the 100 million mark that I put up there. Unfortunately, this is, of course, one of the biggest drops for a Star Wars movie.
55%, which is not bad.
What was it?
55% is what you have written down.
Oh, yes. Because that was a 4-day weekend total.
Yes, 4 days.
Yes. The 3-day, however, was a 67% drop.
That's a little bit steeper.
Yes.
But really, what do you expect when it had the second biggest opening in the first weekend of all time? I mean, hey.
Well, that followed by everyone being very divisive about whether people should go see it or not.
But still people saw it, and in mass droves, way more than its closest competitor, which, of course, number 2, Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle, made $55 million in its opening week.
Yes, first weekend. It did open, on a Tuesday.
On a Tuesday, when the club goes up.
Yep.
Number 3, Pitch Perfect 3, debuting this week at number 3, with $26 million.
Yeah, that's a good pull for that.
Yeah, not bad. Greatest Showman coming in at number 4 with another $14 million, and Ferdinand staying around with another 10. So that's your top 5.
So that's your top 5.
Now we've already talked about all these movies, except for Ferdinand, which neither of us have seen.
No.
So we can skip ahead to next week. So next big releases we have are skipping a bit. Well, I guess we're pretty much winding down the year.
Yep.
We have 2 major releases left, and that's it.
Yes, both these releases come out today.
Today, but really the weekend, because nobody sees movies except for crazy people on Thursdays. Yes, hi, crazy person. Molly's Game, that's the Aaron Sorkin directed film, and Phantom Thread, which is the new Paul Thomas Anderson.
Yes, not to confuse with Wes Anderson.
No, very different.
Yes.
Paul Thomas Anderson, Daniel Day-Lewis.
Yes.
Tour de Force.
Daniel Day-Lewis's final performance.
So, yeah,
final film.
See the last
he did not die. He just announced retirement.
Yeah.
For those of you interested in that. But I did see a couple movies.
All right, what did you see? I know you saw Molly's Game.
Oh, yes.
You want to talk about Molly's Game?
All right, so let's get to our thoughts here.
Yeah.
So, thoughts real quick. So, before I get to Molly's Game, I'm going to talk about Downsizing.
Okay, so you saw Downsizing as well. That's,
yes.
One of last week's new releases.
Right. This was the Christmas release for last week.
Yeah.
Downsizing. It's been quite a year for Matt Damon.
Yeah, not all great.
Quite a dismal year.
Yeah.
For Matt Damon. Not all of it's been good, and not all of it was good. I don't think there was anything that was good.
No, not a whole lot of positive coming out of it.
Yeah, so
for Matt Damon.
So at the beginning of the year he had The Great Wall, which floundered here stateside.
Right.
And then in October he had the Coen brothers written.
Coen brothers, not the Conan brothers.
Yes.
That's probably a very different writing duo.
Yes, the Coen brothers written, George Clooney directed pick, Suburbicon, which came and went so fast. I don't even think it stayed 2 weeks at the box office.
Yeah, no.
Yes, and that brings us to his final film of the year, Downsizing, which was written by Alexander Payne.
Yeah.
And directed by Alexander Payne.
This got a little bit of buzz to it.
Yes. The basic concept was that in order to save the environment, you shrink yourself to roughly like an inch tall, and you basically lived a life of luxury because of it.
Yes.
That should have been the gimmick. And, well, that is the gimmick, and should have had tons of hilarious, hey, look how big this thing is compared, and look how much I have living now.
Yeah.
And that should have been the gimmick for this movie. It should have been a lighthearted comedy, you would think.
But it's not.
But it's not. And that is what has a bunch of people turned off on this thing.
Okay.
Because it is definitely an Alexander Payne movie. But by what I mean by that is that it is very much a character-driven film.
Sure.
There's very little actual gimmicks and very little actual comedy in this thing. Compared to what is essentially a Matt Damon, I'm still going to save people because I am a Matt Damon lead character. So, from that aspect, it's not really a good film.
Okay.
There's some elements that are well done, but from the beginning of the film, where, you're supposed to, save the environment, to the end of the film, where you're still, saving people, it's not really a good transition, and it's not really well done.
How much of this is because it wasn't the thing you thought it was?
A good chunk of it.
Yeah.
But then once I got over that, it still did end up being a good movie.
Okay.
There's, 3 time jumps in the film.
Right.
And for me, you can't do that.
Because you get too confused about, when is this?
Yes.
What matters? Why did we do this?
Well, because they first jump forward 5 years from the creation of Downsizing to announcing it. Then they jump forward another 10 years to where they introduce Matt Damon to it. And then they jump forward another year after he's been downsized. And then they jump forward another couple of years.
It sounds like they could have just introduced this movie with that already being a thing that exists in the world.
Yes.
And that not been a problem.
Right. But because, world building, that for some reason they thought they had to initialize, this is where it started and this is why it started. Instead of doing one of those news broadcasts or TED Talks you could do to speed things up.
Yeah. You want a little bit more Pope in the pool, is what you're saying.
Yes.
As opposed to the Pope just floundering right in front of you.
Oh, yeah.
And everybody and the narrator explaining what the Pope is doing.
Yes.
Is what it sounds like.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
yeah, that's disappointing because it seemed like that thing might have been okay. But...
Yes. Had this thing been done by a different director with a more comedic take.
Yeah.
With Matt Damon still in the role, it would have been good.
So you think Matt Damon's fine in this thing?
No, this is not Matt Damon's fault.
Okay.
This is an Alexander Payne fault.
Okay.
Like I said, because he is definitely a character-driven director, and the stuff he writes, the stuff he directs are very character centralized in terms of internal struggles.
Sure.
The fact that you have an external plot point in terms of people getting small is not an internal conflict that you can show. And so it struggles to walk that. It struggles to keep your interest past that, because once everything gets resized and you accept the world that they're in, there is no more of that. Oh, haha, that thing's big, or haha, I get you. I understand. You're still small.
It's no longer about that.
Yes.
At a certain point.
Right, and then that loses the whole charm of the movie.
Yeah.
And that loses me as an audience member.
So it sounds like this is a solid to stream it.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gathering. Don't bother paying for $15 for this. Wait until it's on Netflix or something and put it on. If you have, if you want to put something on for a little bit.
Yeah. Even if you want to just miss it completely, that's perfectly fine. Nothing about this. It's not like an idiocracy.
It's bad. It's just not what you wanted it to be.
Yeah, it's not like an idiocracy thing where you're gonna want to see it 5 years down the line or something. It's just a thing that existed.
It's not going to be culturally relevant in 10 years.
Yeah.
No. Unless somebody actually develops that technology.
Oh, yes.
And if so, can you put your resources towards curing cancer instead? Thank you.
Yes, that's actually one of the things they brought up at the beginning of the film. Of they can make people small, but they can't cure my diabetes.
Well, good job, science.
And then that character ends up dying via time skip.
Oh God.
So it's
thanks, movie.
Okay, thanks, movie. You introduced this character
that
is no longer relevant after the scene they're in.
All right. Well, okay, that doesn't sound great. But what else did you see?
But I also saw Molly's Game. This is the Aaron Sorkin written, directed, based off the book by Molly Bloom. Not the character in Ulysses.
No, different Molly.
Different Molly Bloom. Actual real life Molly Bloom, who I didn't know was a Olympic skater or skier.
Yeah.
It's actually a big plot point in the film.
Yeah, I only knew this because Seth Meyers had Aaron Sorkin on last week, and he talked about a little bit about the movie.
Yes.
But yes, so what's up with Molly's Game?
Molly's Game is definitely Aaron Sorkin written.
Yeah.
And I loved it.
Okay.
It's great. It's great writing. It's great dialogue.
How is he as a director, though? This is his directing debut.
Needs some work.
It is the first time he's ever done it.
Yes, this is the first time he's ever done it. Needs some work. I can definitely tell where he's taken some
Fincher?
Yes.
He's definitely been training under Fincher.
Yes.
You can probably tell.
Yes. It definitely reminded me a lot of The Social Network.
Oh, yeah.
In terms of not just dialogue, but shot composition as well.
Yeah.
There wasn't the big walk and talk.
No.
But there's definitely some like comedic aspects of that makes this film work in terms of like keeping a scene moving when they're just sitting still.
Yeah,
because for some reason Aaron Sorkin likes courtrooms.
Yeah.
He loves courtrooms. Yes.
He loves courtrooms.
He loves that courtroom drama.
But even scenes where two people are sitting down, he's usually pretty good at that.
Oh yeah, there's one scene like the main scene that keeps coming to mind is that they're trying to get exposition taken care of between Idris Elba and Jessica Chastain.
Uh-huh.
And so Idris Elba keeps switching seats with the character in order to talk to her, and then switching back, and then switching over, and then switching back, and then switching over and switching back.
Yeah.
And it's a good way to keep that thing going, and like him like keep like learning new stuff to ask, while not just having them sit together and then just like leaning over and saying something.
Right.
Leaning over and saying something. Like he's physically doing something to get information.
That's cool.
And it's a good tactic. That's just part of like good screenwriting.
Yeah.
Other than that, Jessica Chastain definitely gonna get an nom for this thing.
Okay, cool.
She is a force. Whether she'll win, I don't know, but she's definitely carries that entire movie.
Okay.
And she is a delight to watch. Not just because she gets put in skimpy dresses and you just see her cleavage everywhere.
Jeez.
But just because she, as an actress, is well done and well directed in this thing. Definitely check out Molly's Game.
Okay.
This is definitely a go out there, go watch it. Let's see if Doctor's chiming in. Not yet. Okay. Yeah, definitely go out there, go watch this thing. If you're a poker player or you like the game of poker, watch this thing. It's definitely interesting. Because it's LA, they bring up Commerce Casino.
Oh.
I was like, ha! I know what that is. Like, ha! I know who they're talking about.
Okay, cool.
But yeah.
Alright, so one don't bother right now and one go see it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Holiday season, January is going to be pretty slow in terms of movies. So, this thing should stay in theaters. And, yeah, definitely give it a watch. Especially coming around award season here. Expect Jessica Chastain to get some buzz.
Alright, well, you know what doesn't have buzz, and we're moving into the news here, is Netflix's Bright.
Oh, yeah.
So this thing has been all over the internet for all sorts of reasons, and none of them good.
Yes.
See, people are...
So since we saw Bright, do we have to review it?
Well, we didn't really see it. We saw parts of it.
We watched at least the latter 2/3 of it.
No, we don't need to review it. We can just say what the reviews have been like on the internet, which have not been positive.
Yeah.
People are kind of dogpiling on this thing as pile of garbage. But one of the people who really think it's a pile of garbage are people who work at ADI. And here's why. Netflix's new film Bright was made with, of course, with special effects and makeup artists, as you know you'd need to in a movie that's in a fantasy universe.
Right, especially with like orcs and elves and fairies. It's like very fantasy.
So ADI was one of the largest crews on this movie, with 60 artists and technicians creating about 50 hero makeup and other 85 background masks. But guess what? They were not credited for the film. They're not in the credits at all. So, of course, they went on the internet and posted. I saw some people that I follow on Twitter kind of following this story. And basically to say, hey, yeah, we worked really hard on this movie and we didn't get recognition for it. What's up, Netflix?
Yes.
Essentially. So, Has Netflix responded to this at all? How close have you been following the story?
So earlier today, on ADI's site was a list of all the people attached to this thing.
They kind of went in and did it themselves because it wasn't being represented in the film.
Yes, I tried looking that up, that same site, just now.
Yeah.
Like half hour ago, and I couldn't find the actual link. So my guess is that they took the link down to that, and that they have worked something out with Netflix already.
Or if they haven't worked something out, they're at least talking to them and maybe trying to get some sort of thing
yes, because over the weekend, people are going to go watch it. Like, if you worked on it, you're going to watch it and see, like, everything and make sure that you're in the credits. Because being in the credits is one way that IMDb makes its stuff official, because you can go in there and see it. And if it's not there and you can't verify it, then how do we know we worked on it?
But also, more importantly, you should get credit for the work you've done on a movie.
Yes.
So it's kind of BS that they, did such like extensive work on a movie like this, and didn't get called out for it. Like, that's just ridiculous.
Right. So because it is a streaming service, I'm sure Netflix has a way to just add it in real quickly, since it is since it is a end credits thing.
Yeah.
So
let's hope. Let's hope Netflix makes the right decision here and works with ADI to get them represented.
Yep.
Okay, so do we have some comments to address here?
No, this is basically just the doctor chiming in that I didn't know this, but she doesn't have Netflix. So, doctor, this will be your extended Christmas present. I will give you my Netflix login, and because you'll be laid up for 2 months, I'll let you catch up on a bunch of stuff.
Netflix.
Yeah, I just know that one extra login too.
So
I got my parents, this one, my room, and then I have a fourth one that I'm just saving.
Yeah.
So I guess that's where it's gonna go now.
There you go.
I thought you already had Netflix, which is weird. All right, moving on.
Moving on. Next we have. So, are there movies you want to see? Because if there are, Google Play has got you covered.
Are there movies that you want to see that came out this year?
So Google Play, now until the 2nd of the new year, you can rent any movie for $1.
Yes,
$1.
99 cents.
Discount is applied at checkout, so you can choose films, such as films that happened this year, like you've written down Kingsman, Golden Circle,
yes,
Dunkirk, or even Spider-Man Homecoming.
Yes, some of the big movies. The big movies that came out this year that are already available to stream, you can get for $1.
It's a pretty good deal. So yeah, you can download it before buy it before the 2nd, but you can redeem it before the 14th. And once you rent it, you'll have 30 days to watch it, and 48 hours to finish once you've started watching something. It's typical for a lot of the similar streaming download services as well.
Yes.
But yeah, you can use the banner on their site, I guess, to click in and get the deal.
Yeah, because otherwise it won't register it at checkout as a discounted code because it won't be in there.
Yeah.
So click the banner just to make sure that you get the discounted code already applied.
It's a good way to get caught up.
Yes. I mean, for $1, you can get Dunkirk in 4K.
Yeah, dollar bill, man.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. All right. What's not so great is some difficulties between Universal and Harry Shearer and the other actors from This Is Spinal Tap.
Yeah, so we've been following this thing since it was announced, and it turns out this thing may actually get thrown out of court.
So, as a little bit of a recap, there was some issues about intellectual property rights, about residual payments for the actors that were in, specifically Harry Shearer.
Yes.
He's known to be litigious about money he thinks he's owed. From the movie This Is Spinal Tap, the classic mockumentary about the metal band.
Right.
But yes, Vivendi, parent company of the company that owns all of this crap, asserts that the lawsuit is nothing more than an ordinary breach of contract claim, and the allegations towards how the studio attempted delaying discovery of the claims or didn't enforce intellectual property rights. So basically they're saying that Vivendi knowingly told the plaintiffs that they were providing accurate statements, maximizing revenue, as this would boil down to an accounting error. Basically,
right.
Our classic Media Boat podcast patented accounting error is the problem here. We're not jipping you. Right.
This is basically Vivendi's way of saying that, well, we didn't know because it was accounting error, so therefore you can't sue us for stuff that we didn't know about.
So let's just throw it out and act like none of this happened.
Right. We're just going to throw it out and then just give you what you're owed instead of the extra $4 million for back pay.
which is probably fine because Harry Shearer just wants his money.
Right.
It's literally all he wants. So I'm sure they'll figure this out. They'll probably just hand him a check and say, "You're good." Whether it's enough for them remains to be seen.
Right. The big thing here is whether Vivendi knew that they were doing this on purpose.
Yeah.
Because if they did, then there is court precedent for this to go ahead to trial. And then they'll get all the evidence of when they found out, if they found out, how long this has been going on for.
Yeah.
But for the meantime, this thing could just end up being accounting error and then fixing it via third party.
Yeah. So, we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. And finally, our last story for the day is about another big fantasy film from Disney, which we brought up on this podcast once before, based on the book Artemis Fowl. So we have some casting announcements.
Yes.
About Artemis Fowl, directed, of course, by Kenneth Branagh.
Yep. Recently off of... he just recently premiered. Murder on the Orient Express.
Yes.
To critical reviews.
So, starring as Artemis Fowl, the titular character will be Ferdia Shaw, making his on-screen debut, beating out 1,200 other candidates for the part.
Yeah. So this was a big role, think Harry Potter style.
Yeah.
In terms of young adults.
Big cattle call for.
Yeah.
And
so
the guy,
we found
Ferdia.
Yep.
Ferdia is a great name.
Yes.
Also in the film, Josh Gad will be playing a character called Mulch Diggums, and that is a kleptomaniacal dwarf, so a dwarf that steals stuff?
Yes.
Okay, I didn't read the books, so...
Well, no, neither did I, but Josh Gad as a dwarf, a comedic dwarf thief is pretty good casting. Yep.
The one and only Dame Judi Dench will be the leader of the fairy police force named Commander Root.
That makes sense.
Yeah, check it out. And Laura McDonnell will be the elf hero, Captain Holly Short. Nonso Anozie will be Butler, Artemis Fowl's bodyguard, and was recently in Disney's live-action Cinderella.
Yes.
The film will hit theaters on August 9th, 2019.
Yes,
so another year before
Yep, so this thing just got its official casting. They're going to go into costume design and pre-production before it gets about a year's worth of visual effects added to it.
Yeah.
Because it sounds like this thing is going to be effects heavy. I just hope they don't go too much, because one of the charms about the Harry Potter series was the use of practical effects.
Yeah, so I don't know what they're going to do here.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
So hopefully they don't go too overboard in terms of like the Lion Witch in the Wardrobe or Golden Compass.
Yeah.
When it comes to young adult novels, and just completely CGI the crap out of it.
Kind of could go either way at this point.
Yeah.
All right, moving into TV.
Yep. Moving right along into TV.
Sports.
Yes.
Get ready. It's the BCS games happening on Monday. That is New Year's Day.
Yep.
So get ready for bowls and bowls.
Well, currently bowl games have been going on for the past week and a half now.
Yes.
We have the top top four. Playing on New Year's Day in the Rose Bowl and Cotton Bowl. That is Georgia against the losing team, and Alabama against another losing team.
There you go.
At least that's the way I see it going down.
Yeah, that's at least what.
Yeah, it's Georgia, Oklahoma, and then not Auburn, the other guys. Clemson and Alabama in a rematch of last year's title game. I hope Doctor doesn't pin me for not knowing that.
I'm sure you're fine.
Yes.
All right.
I saved myself.
And it's also the last week of the NFL.
Yes.
All playoff seats are set except for wild cards.
Yeah. Right. So, because hometown heroes, the Rams have officially made it, and may be going to a playoff game in LA. First time in over just like the 90s.
It could happen.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
It'd be great.
Alrighty, that's your sports. Moving on to proper TV news.
Yes.
Sesame Street. You like Sesame Street, right?
Who doesn't love Sesame Street?
Well, guess what?
What?
I'm trying to get to the part where that has to do with Sesame Street.
Oh, the fact that it got a grant?
Here we go. Sesame Street will be part of something. Part of building a digital TV, mobile, and in-person curriculum that aims to provide tools for kids affected by refugee movements in the Middle East. So refugees from the Middle East got a $100 million programming grant via the International Rescue Committee.
Right, the IRC.
Yes. An estimated 9.4 million children will be able to use this specialized program. So yeah, they'll focus on special topics like inclusion, respect, gender equality. The content will be available at no cost to the children and will be available through TV programs on mobile phones and other digital platforms.
This is great because it'll keep Sesame Street alive in terms of relevance.
And international.
And international presence, too.
That's pretty cool.
Yes.
And those are great characters to teach you stuff, as we've learned from the last 40 years.
Yes.
Turns out.
Yes,
people remember things that Sesame Street has taught them. In fact, I still remember the thing about near, far, and like the person's way over there.
Yeah, we would run back into the screen.
Yeah, and stuff like that. And one of these things is not like the other.
One of these
things stuff it does,
doesn't
so clearly it works.
Yeah,
right?
And of course there's also the count.
Yes.
Who counts? 1, two,
So, yeah.
bananas,
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so just introducing Sesame Street to the Middle East and expanding its global dominance.
Yep. Okay, so we have a follow-up to a couple stories on this next one.
Yes.
Not only a follow-up to recent FCC regulation changes that we covered about large companies being able to buy local stations.
Right.
But also, this touches back into something we talked about earlier this year after John Oliver did his piece about the Sinclair Broadcasting Group.
Yes.
So the Sinclair Broadcasting Group, instead of what we thought was going to happen, gaining more power, get this, has lost a little ground. So they've gotten fined by the FCC itself for $13.4 million for doing exactly what John Oliver had talked about, which was running sponsored content as news.
Yes.
So yeah, the programming was broadcasted more than 1,700 times, but failing to disclose that a cancer foundation was paying for those programs to air, got them the fine.
Yep.
So
while it's a good thing to know Cancer Foundation to put this information out there, it is still paid programming.
It is FCC regulations to have to surface the sponsor of your programming. And not only that, if it's news, it can't be sponsored by something.
Right.
Yeah.
News in terms of a news program.
Right.
That's why I like several YouTube shows that I see. Whenever they do have sponsored content.
Yeah.
They announce it either up front or at the end.
#ad.
Yeah, #ad. Like this video is brought to you by Ad. We'll talk more about it at the end.
Yeah. So this, of course, puts the brakes on one of the thing that we all thought was going to happen.
Oh, yes. We all assumed this was a done deal.
Which is that they were going to merge with Tribune Media, which is the whole thing about why there was a threat of them expanding their empire.
Right.
But now that might not happen.
Yes. So this has put the brakes on that potential deal.
So yeah.
For now.
That could be good.
Yes.
So Sinclair and Tribune are kind of could be a duo in the future, but what else is a duo is, of course, every season of True Detective.
Yes.
True Detective will be starting early 2018 with its third proper season. And as we've previously reported, Mahershala Ali will play in the series. But now we know his name. He'll be Police Detective Wayne Hayes. And production will be in Northwest Arkansas.
Yes, production begins
early 2018.
In, next month, 2018. January. They've already signed all their permits for North Arkansas. The story will actually take place in northern Arkansas as well.
And guess what? We all have a second person. It's not really clear here whether that this is his partner,
right,
or just another person in the plot. But Carmen Ejogo will play a character named Amelia Reardon, a school teacher with a connection to two missing children in 1980. It's a period piece this time. A little synopsis is it'll tell the story of a macabre crime in the heart of the Ozarks and a mystery that deepens over decades and plays out in 3 separate time periods.
Right, so just because the teacher was set in the 80s about the disappearances,
it's not going to necessarily be exclusively in 1980.
Right. 80s period piece.
So yeah, who knows?
Yeah.
But yeah, that seems all right. We'll see.
Yep.
Okay, that is it for proper television news. Let's get into cancel. Something else to add.
No, there is one last thing. Because it is the end of the year.
Well, that's what I was just going to say, but okay.
Yeah, well, I thought you were going to jump down here.
No,
instead of
I wasn't.
here. Okay.
I was going to introduce the segment and then do the special thing.
Oh, okay, yeah. So let's do this.
We're moving into cancellations and renewals, but before we do our classics, our current cancellations, because this is the last time we're going to do this during the year, we'll have a in memoriam of sorts.
Yes.
For the soldiers we lost this year. Some of them, not all of them. 32 total scripted TV shows have been canceled this year.
Right.
And here's just a little short list.
Right, and that's canceled, not series finale, unlike Girls, which was a proper finale.
Yeah, it ended because the creators want it to end. These definitely were not that case.
Oh, yes.
So, the list includes CBS's Zoo after 3 seasons.
All right. That was usually a summer run.
Netflix's internet popular Sense8.
Yes.
Which ran for 2 seasons.
That was the Wachowskis.
Netflix's incredibly expensive The Get Down after just
I wonder why that thing got canceled.
Netflix's sadly underappreciated, in my opinion, Girl Boss after 1 season.
Right. See, I thought that was going to be just a movie and not a series.
No, that was a series.
Yeah.
And I was very sad that it's not coming back because I wanted to see what happened next in that thing. Fox's 24 Legacy after 1 season.
Yes, they got replaced with Ramley. And then Pandas, Pandas.
Fox's Son of Zorn after just 1 season.
That's unfortunate. I wish there was more Zorn.
NBC's Powerless after 1 season. That pilot was okay.
Yeah, but apparently it continuously
it
lost people.
CBS, NBC's, or I forget where the Blacklist is. NBC?
Yeah, NBC.
Blacklist Redemption.
Right, this is the spin-off of the Blacklist. Right. The Blacklist is still a TV show, but Redemption, the spin-off, will no longer be one.
Rosewood after 2 seasons.
Yeah, you liked that pilot.
I don't remember.
Well, at least you said it wasn't going to get canned after the first season.
I didn't think so, but yet it did.
And yet, second season, it got the
second season. And Dark Matter after 3 seasons.
Yes, this was the sci-fi hit that the internet was rooting for.
Yeah, didn't make it.
No. But
so that's your year. But let's flash forward to this week.
Yes.
This week in cancellations, we have Dark. Netflix's Dark after just 2 seasons. We have Graves on Epix, canceled after 2 seasons as well.
No, that's Dark. It's a second season.
Oh, you don't have it. You need to make that clear.
Oh no, if it says canceled, it's canceled.
Okay, so sorry. Dark is not canceled. Dark is getting renewed for a 2nd season.
Yes.
But yes, Graves is still canceled.
Yeah, Graves is still canceled.
Alright, unfortunately, that means we're moving into the deaths.
Yes.
We have 3 deaths this week. We have Jordan Feldstein, age 45. That's young.
Yes.
Manager of Maroon 5 and brother of Jonah Hill.
That's like 3 TVI, like all in one.
Yeah, jeez. Wow. That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Jim Burns, age 65. He was the co-creator of MTV Unplugged.
Yep.
Pretty cool. And finally, Dick Enberg, 82, was a sportscaster, worked on NFL on NBC and the MLB on NBC. So an NBC sportscaster.
Yep.
All right.
I think that's it.
That'll do it.
And that will bring us to music.
I need to pull up Billboard.
Yeah,
here.
we're chugging right through this. This is actually going to be like one of our shorter episodes.
Yeah.
Because it is end of the year. Not a whole lot is going on at the end of the year.
Your Hot 100, there's no change in the top 4. Your number 1 song is still Perfect with Ed Sheeran and Beyonce. Entering into the top 5, though, right at number 5 is No Limit by G-Eazy featuring A$AP Rocky and Cardi B, moving out Thunder by Imagine Dragons out of the range of the list.
Put it down number 6.
On to Billboard 200, your albums list, as soon as it loads here. Debuting at number 1 this week, of course it is Revival by Eminem. Because that man sells records.
Yes. Again, one of the few artists out there who could put something out and it will sell immediately.
It's true.
Despite what reviews hit about it.
Yeah. Number 2, Reputation, Taylor Swift. Number 3, The Beautiful and Damned by G-Eazy. Number 4, Divide by Ed Sheeran. And holding on probably for its last week in this top 5, A Pentatonix Christmas.
Yes. So that means that Eminem has a number 1 album in 2017.
It's true.
Maybe the last week.
Maybe
the only time it's up there.
But he made it.
But the fact that it debuted at number 1 is just how good of an artist, or the legacy, I will say.
Yeah, how many fans he still has.
Yeah.
Worldwide.
But let's move
release, we only have one new release this year.
Yeah,
this
week. For the rest of the year.
Yes, for the rest of the year. Our last release is Juicy J with Rubber Band Business, the album.
Yep.
Which is a good name.
Alright, so...
Let's move into some music news.
Yes.
First thing we got. So, as you know, the Beatles are a very popular band.
Yes.
It happened. I feel like I'm doing it like a book report.
Go ahead.
Like in elementary school. Well, the British Empire is known to offer knighthood to those important people in their culture.
Yes, this is where you get your sirs and your dames.
So, of course, we all know that Paul McCartney, of course, is Sir Paul McCartney.
Right.
Because...
he has been knighted. Back
knighted.
in like the 97, I think.
Guess what? He won't be the only Beatle who is a knight.
Yes.
Richard Starkey, a.k.a. Ringo Starr,
yes,
will be knighted this New Year's.
See, I tried to trick you with that.
I knew who Richard Starkey is.
Dang it.
You didn't trick me.
I tried to trick you.
No. I know Ringo Starr's real name is
okay.
So yes, he will be knighted. This is all because of all the work he's done. He's done charity work with AIDS awareness for abused children. The way that it's written is look like you are saying he abused children.
No.
It's not true. I don't think. I hope not. For human rights and poverty around the world and the creative arts, of course. And yes, he's been part of the music industry for over 50 years.
Yes.
Yeah, I see how you wrote this like a 20 questions question.
Yeah.
This whole thing, as if I didn't know.
Yes.
But yes, Paul McCartney was knighted back in 97. And, of course, the other two, Beatles, Lennon and Harrison, are not alive.
So, they don't do posthumous.
No, they don't.
Knighthood.
But yeah, Ringo had gotten to age 77 and just figured that he wasn't ever going to get this kind of honor. But yet, here we are.
Yep.
So yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Apparently, Paul McCartney had been, egging on the Queen to give him knighthood.
It's like, what about Ringo? He's still alive.
Yeah. It was like, he's still a part of the band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's still pretty cool.
So, I guess pestering the Queen finally worked.
Yeah.
Or something. Some Ringo fan decided to slip his name in, and there we go.
Yeah.
Ring.
All right, moving on.
That's a congratulations to Ringo Starr, by the way.
Yeah, definitely. But moving on, someone who was not knighted yet.
I don't think they can be.
She would be damed.
Well, she's New Zealand, so I don't think she can be.
No, I don't know how that works, actually.
Right.
Lord.
Lord.
Who we've been talking about a lot lately.
Yes.
Has also had kind of an international situation on her hands, but not quite as much of an honor this time. So she decided to cancel an upcoming concert in Tel Aviv, Israel, after calls for a withdrawal due to
the capital
cultural boycott. You would think that, but according to some people, that might not be the capital of Israel anymore. I don't know. I don't know who to believe at this point. Anyways, yeah, it seems like a lot of artists are dropping out of concerts over there recently over the uproar out of our president's decision to
move to recognize Jerusalem as the capital instead of everyone else in the world saying that it's Tel Aviv and not starting international war.
Right. It's just it's not really keeping in mind that there's enough tension there already that we don't need to really add logs to that fire. But yeah, anyways, so this has, so she of course said that I've received an overwhelming number of messages and letters and have a lot of discussions with people holding many views, and I think the right decision at the time is to cancel the show. The follow-up here that you actually don't have is that apparently a lead dignitary in Israel actually called Lord up and requested to have a meeting with her.
Okay.
So we'll hopefully see the outcome of that at some point. But yes, we're going to have a little sit down.
Yes.
A little talk.
This means that may not be canceled, but instead rescheduled or and relocated or something.
Or something. I don't know what'll happen.
Right.
But we'll see. That'll be very interesting to see kind of what comes out of that. But yeah, other artists who have recently canceled their concerts in Israel include Roger Waters, Elvis Costello, Thurston Moore, Lauryn Hill, and more.
What year is it?
I guess it's 1997. All right, moving on. Gnarls Park, 1997. Lord wasn't even alive, by the way. Just to put that into perspective, how young Lord is.
Yes.
Next up, Gnarls Barkley. It is 1997.
Yes.
The duo, of course, of CeeLo Green and Danger Mouse. That's Gnarls Barkley. are getting back together exactly 10 years after the release of their sophomore album, The Odd Couple.
Yes.
So this is weird, considering I feel like the public perception of CeeLo Green has yet to really 100% turn around.
Oh, no, this is why they're doing it, because people don't realize, I think most people don't realize that they're the same person.
And he's kind of a terrible person.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyways, in an interview, the project, they said, was about halfway done, and may include some previously unreleased material from both musicians. In the meantime, CeeLo has released a new track called Brick Road, produced by Danger Mouse, which will appear on his upcoming mixtape called Songbirds.
Yes.
So somebody's trying to make CeeLo happen.
Right. CeeLo's trying to be relevant yet again. Danger Mouse, always been producing. Yeah, he's never stopped.
Always keep producing.
Oh, yep.
ABP.
ABP.
Oh, ABP.
There's an ABP out for Danger Mouse.
All right.
He always be producing.
You know who is always producing is Kendrick Lamar.
Yes.
So, recently, Hawthorne police have recovered a hard drive containing more than $1 million worth of original music that was stolen recently from a car belonging to Derek, quote, this is, I guess, his nickname, his DJ name, Mixed by Ali.
Yes,
who
Derek
is Kendrick
Ali.
Lamar's Grammy Award-winning mixer. The theft occurred December 7th outside of an Equinox. I guess he was...
That's a gym.
I guess, yes, I know. I guess he was checking the joint for Kanye.
Yeah.
Because Kanye needs to know everyone who's in the Equinox and see if they're a freak or not. That's a literal line.
I know, that's a lie.
Somewhere in Life of Pablo. Anyways. Yeah.
Also, that guy's name is De Beer.
But yeah, anyways. However, another copy of this remains at large. This device was encrypted, but Ali was still glad to get one copy back, although it still remains unclear whether any of Lamar's music was officially on the recovered hard drive.
Right, because it's a hard drive and police are not allowed to access it.
Right.
It is uncertain whether it actually had any Kendrick Lamar stuff on it or not.
Mattered, yeah.
But because he does work like almost exclusively with Kendrick Lamar,
it's safe to guess.
It's safe to guess that at least somewhere something on that hard drive was of a Kendrick Lamar produced track.
But the good news here is they got the perp.
Yes.
The police, which you have capitalized, which means Sting was involved,
Yeah.
arrested Chanjero Espinoza, age 23, who left his fingerprints all over Ellie's car door during the break-in, like a smart criminal.
Yes. Apparently, him and his partner would routinely go around to gyms in LA and then watch them leave and then bring it to their cars and steal anything of value.
So
whether or not, so this means that whether or not they knew who he was or not, probably not. But they just saw a hard drive, or they just took everything.
My question is, if it was the police, was Stuart Copeland there too?
Stop the police jokes.
Sorry, you have capital P.
I know, I do.
Not police. Anyways, that's it for music.
Yes.
Moving into video games.
Yeah, moving right along to wrap up the end of the year in video games here.
The end of video games forever. They're done.
Yeah.
We have Valve. There's always news about Valve, but this time it takes place down under.
Yep, this is actually bad news for Valve.
Yeah, the full court of the Federal Court of Australia.
That's the actual name?
Yes. It's funny. Court inside of court.
Yes.
Has dismissed an appeal by Valve against a ruling that it engaged in misleading or deceptive conduct and made false or misleading representations about consumer guarantees. Valve's appeal against a $3 million penalty was also dismissed. Because it carried business in Australia, it was therefore bound by Australian consumer law in its dealings with customers, although Valve is based in the US. This sets precedent that overseas-based companies must abide by Australian law when doing business in Australia.
Right.
No surprise there. That's usually the case.
Right. We already know that the film business has to edit a lot of its stuff that goes into Australia, and the video game business as well. So, one of the big ones being South Park having to edit several stuff out of its video games for Australian.
So, by the sound of what's here in the story, consumer protections, this almost sounds kind of like the kind of thing that they were doing with their refunds.
Yes.
Is that what this is specifically?
I believe this is what it was specifically.
That sounds like what it's good. Because, yeah, Valve has introduced their refund program, and it has like a certain time period where I believe it's 2 hours that you play into the game before before that basically right gets taken away from you or something like that. And I'm wondering if it has to do with that. Like, if that's not long enough in consumer law in Australia or something. Or something to do with that.
Probably something about that, yeah.
But yeah, interesting, because that does kind of set a precedent, because that's not couldn't
right, because this is
let other countries kind of
right because this isn't Valve specific games, but rather Valve's
any game on
stream service. Yeah. So I assume it's like just because Valve is the parent company of Steam, they just attack Valve instead of each individual game.
No, because that'd be possible. Valve is the person who set up this consumer strategy to do the refunds in the first place. So yeah, they would be the person who's on the fire here. Moving on. We got a story about who?
Who?
The World Health Organization.
Oh, that who?
So they will be adding to their international list of illnesses, gaming disorder.
Yes.
So what is gaming disorder, you ask?
What is gaming disorder?
According to the agency, gaming disorder is being glued for hours in front of a screen, looking at highly stimulating made-up worlds, because it can take a toll on developing brains. Most people who play video games, of course, don't have a disorder, but in certain circumstances, the organization says, overuse can lead to adverse effects. The criteria for this addiction, according to the organization, includes making gaming a priority over other life interests. The point where it becomes like an addiction, I guess is what they're saying.
Yes, that's what they're saying, that this is a gaming addiction where all you think about is the game itself, that it seeps into your daily life to where you're unable to function outside in the outside world.
This makes some sense. There's been talks about this pretty much since video games have existed.
Right.
About, can they be addictive? Well, of course they can. Everything can be addictive just because of the way the brain gets feedback hormonally and what synapses fire. Because you do get a release of good-feeling chemicals when you do something good in a video game. And so specifically addicted in video games, like something, for example, like you leveling up a character, getting skill points and stuff like that, or winning tough matches of Call of Duty and stuff like that, could make that happen in your brain. And some people get addicted to that.
Yep.
I don't know whether or not it should be like necessarily in their organization's like list of illnesses, perhaps, but if we're to the point where this is the closest analog is gambling, you could say.
Right.
So if gambling,
so this is more of a disorder than an illness.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. But yeah, I think this makes sense.
That's the name I've heard in a long time.
That makes sense because it's kind of ends that conversation that we've been having for decades about it. Can you be addicted? Of course you can. You can be addicted to chocolate.
Let's see.
All day. If you prioritize chocolate over
Let's see. The doctor says that she possibly had a mild case of this disease when she downloaded Roller Coaster Tycoon on the iPad and just constantly played that for hours on end.
Hey, that checks out. That's been like I'm sure all of us could name a game that we were addicted to.
I can name one.
Okay.
It's actually our next story.
Alrighty. Moving on, of course, we got Kingdom Hearts news.
That's my game addiction.
Sure is.
Yep, the fact that it's even a part of the news story just shows how much.
So we have some leaks that have leaked all over the place.
Yes.
Showing a Monsters Inc. world.
Yes, this is exciting because it's the second Pixar world that is possible. Kingdom Hearts has already confirmed Toy Story as a world, and this could mean that Monsters Inc., especially with all those doors, could be another world.
You have that written down here. First potential confirmation also of something called Unversed coming into the foray as an enemy. What is Unversed?
Yes. For those of you that have played Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep,
which is all 5 of you out there.
the Vita game that was also part of the 2.5.
Right.
This is that enemy, the Unversed enemy in there, which possibly hints at the return of a villain in terms of Vanitas. If all this does not make sense, don't worry. Just play the games.
Okay, fair enough. Screenshots also show off new mechanic of clothing changes and up to 2 additional characters joining the battle phases as Mike and Sully from Monsters get into the action with you. So
right. So this is
alongside some monsters.
So this is in addition to Donald and Goofy being all part of your team, meaning 5 characters battling at the same time.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes a whole lot of sense.
I mean, right now I'm going through Final Fantasy 15, and you're doing 4 characters at the same time, there's ability there to where you can swap between playing as per character.
Yeah.
So that makes sense that they're expanding on that. Whether or not you'll be able to like specifically play as them, another thing. Probably not, because this is an RPG style game.
Yeah, it's less about more having a party than less than controlling every single aspect.
Right, but one of the interesting things about this is that the clothing mechanic has it appears that you're not really like dressed up as a monster, but instead are wearing Tigger-esque pants.
Tigger pants.
Yes, they're very orange and they're very striped.
Sounds all right.
Yes,
Sounds
and there's
like
also a tail.
Oh, well, that just changes everything, doesn't it?
Yes.
So yeah, according to some of the leaked images, it looks like there's still some things that they're not quite done with. It looks like it's still kind of in its beta stages.
Yeah, they're basically doing bug tests, and they just got screen grabs from this.
So in all likelihood, look to fall 2018.
Yeah, that's where the internet's pointing it.
Makes sense.
Fall 2018, if not
later,
early 2019, which is where I'm actually putting it at.
Maybe like March. I can see that being a March game.
Yeah.
March 2019. But anyways, that's it for our proper video game news. We also have played a couple of video games, but we'll be brief, because they're not really that new. Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune now have console editions for modern consoles, including the one we have on the PS4.
Yes.
We downloaded this. We've been trying it. One is pretty good. The other is, well, I don't know. I haven't played it. You have.
Yes, I have.
So let's, what do you think about the Jeopardy, since that's the one we both played?
Alright, Jeopardy is fun, except for one thing. There is no Alex Trebek.
Yeah, weirdly absent from Alex Trebek, although Johnny Gilbert's in it.
Yes, I saw
Announcer Johnny
that.
Gilbert opens the game for you. But yeah, they have this lady reading, like, not even reading the clues, but no
just
one
the
reads
categories.
Clues, but like reading off the categories and saying the interstitials. Alex Trebek is nowhere in this game.
Yeah.
Though the male AI character's silhouette is very obviously Alex Trebek.
Oh, yeah.
So, I don't know if they couldn't just get his likeness or what was going on. But yeah, other than that, it seems like a real good...
maybe they had to pay too much for his mustache.
Maybe. It's a good modern take on a Jeopardy game. It's kind of a multiple choice kind of thing, but it's all based really on buzzer speed.
Yeah.
Just like the real game. And it feels pretty accurate. Surprisingly accurate to the TV show, complete with a quick mode that only gives you 4 categories if you want to go quickly, and leveling up where you unlock more categories as you get better.
The level up system is great.
Yeah, it's cool.
It's cool. It's easy to rank up, and it makes you, I think it unlocks harder questions too.
Yeah, I think it does.
Yeah,
right now. Starts out pretty easy.
Yeah.
But yeah, as we go on, maybe it'll get more difficult.
Right.
But yeah, what about Wheel of Fortune?
This thing was free, and I can see why it was.
Well, okay, right now or not right now. I think that may have ended. But there was a bundle that bundled both Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune together for just $20 when they're usually $20 a piece.
Yes.
So yeah, we got Wheel of Fortune kind of along with the ride.
And I decided to play a round of it.
Yeah.
That's pretty much all I could play because there is a Pat Sajak or Vanna White. However, the announcer is still there, and they used like actual footage of like the prize wheels, you could say, which are like doing like cruises or like trips to wherever. But it plays out very similar to a regular show of Wheel of Fortune.
Okay. The
big drawback being is that the power bar is very small. So you can either do a small power or a big power. There's no real in between.
Like there's no like finesse you can put on the wheel. That's unfortunate.
Right. I mean, like, I expected the thing to go like all the way, like halfway power, but no, it just goes like this,
a little bit,
just a little up and down. If you press and hold it, it doesn't even go like up and down. It just goes up one way. If you press and hold it, just do a full power spin. If you like tap it, it'll just do a little one, and it's the power system's really messed up.
Man, that sucks.
Yeah.
But
it's just like a classic thing that game of Hangman. It works.
Yeah, it's exactly what you think it is. Besides that, then.
Yeah, okay. But yeah, the fact that there is no Pat Sajak or Vanna White is kind of like why.
Yeah, what a waste.
What a waste. But there is a character customization in this that I wish there was in
Jeopardy.
But unfortunately, you don't see anyone in Jeopardy.
Yeah, the take in Jeopardy is interesting because it basically removes any like actual people.
Yeah.
Like it's just here's a very like gamey version of this thing.
Yeah, here's a very stagnant quiz show version.
Because the one on the 360 had avatar support, and so you could play with your avatars, complete with crazy clothing that you gave them and everything. And this one doesn't have that. But other than that, they're pretty solid as they are. I mean,
yeah, the leveling up system in Wheel of Fortune is you win the game. Well, one, you have to win the game first, and then it'll give you level up points. And the more you level up, the more stuff you unlock.
Yeah.
To like change your character, change the dressing of the show, or like different prizes on the prize wheel.
So probably coming up soon. We'll probably do some streaming of both the games. We might as well. Coming up pretty soon here.
Yeah.
So stay tuned. We'll be on Twitch.tv at some point doing some streaming of some of America's favorite games, as they were called in the bundle.
Actually, yeah. When you first play Wheel of Fortune, that's actually one of oh, fun fact. Wheel of Fortune has trademarked America's favorite game.
Yeah, America's favorite game.
Yes, which is interesting and also not true.
Everybody knows it's Monopoly.
No, it's Cash Cab.
Sure, Cash Cab.
Everyone loves Cash Cab.
All right, so that's it. That will do it for
that is the end.
Boat Podcast.
That is the end of season 2 of Beat Boat Podcast.
A proper podcast, of course. If you know us, we're not done. This week will be wrapped up, like we said, with our wrap-up shows. We already have movies and TV in the can. We will have music tomorrow and video games on Friday, so stay tuned for those. We also have one final podcast that will hit at the end of the year for you that will be the entire year of 2017 in review. So stay tuned for that as well. In the meantime, if you want to catch up on things we've done in the past written-wise, there's MediaBoatPodcast.com. There's where we've been posting, number one, all our wrap-up lists for you in written form on the site all week. We also do regular features such as box office numbers every weekend and new releases every Friday. So check those out as well as our thoughts when we see, play, listen to, or watch something that we love. We'll talk about it, or hate.
Yep.
Sometimes that too. We'll talk about it on MediaBoatPodcast.com. You can also find us on social media. Twitter, we're at MediaBoatCast. Facebook, just search MediaBoat Podcast. Find our page. Like it. Find us on Twitch.tv for video games. We'll be streaming soon, so check that out. Twitch.tv/MediaBoat. You can also find us on iTunes if you want to hear our audio versions of the podcast. That would be iTunes. Just search MediaBoat Podcast and other podcast devices as well. Finally, if you want to help us out with some money, we have Patreon. Patreon.com/MediaBoat is where you can go to help us out with some donations. You can donate as little as $1 a month to help us out make us have us make better content than we're already making and become an exclusive member of our special patron crew. So check that out. In the meantime, we will be back
next
in 2018.
Year. Next year.
For another proper episode of the Media Boat Podcast.
That's going to be the start of season 3 for us.
And that'll be, of course, live on YouTube. Just search Media Boat Podcast. Subscribe to our channel. Comment on our videos. Give us some thumbs up.
Yep.
Whatever you want to do. We'll be back in 2018. So see you then.
Still going live every Wednesday at 8 p.m. on YouTube. 8 p.m.
Pacific on YouTube. So we'll be back. Have a good 2017, guys. Have a good Happy New Year, and we'll see you next year. Bye.
Okay, bye. YouTube After Show. Matt, we did it. We've done season 2.
We've done it. Season 2 wrap up.
Of Media Boat.
We did it.
Of course,
but now we need
still
to
have our
stop this because we need to record the video games.
Okay.
So I can go to bed.
All right.
We need to plug in this laptop.
Yeah, I see it's going down there.
That's cable.
All right. Thank you guys for tuning in, for streaming. Like I said, go to MediaBoatPodcast.com for our year in review wrap-ups, and look out for our complete year in review, end of 2017, coming up.
Yep.
Within, I don't know, before the 1st. I don't know when we're going to put that up, but yeah. A couple days from now, that will go live, and you can hear everything we have to say about the year that was 2017 and what we look forward to in 2018.
For reals.
But for now, if you want to listen to us on a previous podcast, go ahead. Otherwise, go over to MediaBoatPodcast.com and listen to us do our film and TV thoughts for the year.
So check it out.
All right. Bye.
Bye.